Off-season, as you likely know it, is dead. When most athletes think of off-season, they default to one of two traditional models. Number one, a complete shutdown, turn their back on the sport, they go rogue, random. Or number two, it's time to build the base. Endless, foundational, low-intensity training. At first glance, both of these sound logical, but here's why it's actually the fastest way to stall your progress long term. The old school view of off-season. You stop training for weeks or even months, and you do endless base miles, zone 1 and zone 2 training. Here's the thing about base miles. This concept started back in the cycling days, where athletes race many times a year, full of high intensity, and yes, doing a bunch of progressive base miles. And that model is applied to a regular time-starved athlete that is getting ready for events in which they typically race 2, 3, 4 times a year. And now suddenly we're supposed to, when the days are short, typically cold, and there's certainly way less daylight, often rain or snow in there, we are driven to go and add training hours at a boring, low-stress intensity. And it's all about this foundation, but the truth is, for a time-starved athlete, it doesn't integrate into life. Trying to ram countless hours of training into an already busy life is going to add even more stress. And so the concept of how your life is structured doesn't mesh with this concept of base building. Interestingly, in the summer months, where typically people tend to have maybe a little bit more time, certainly the days are longer, and the weather tends to be warmer, that's a time where we do get to do a lot of base building time. In fact, as we are doing an endurance sport, for time-starved athletes, you are able to get outside. It is more intuitive, and the events that we're training for demand quite a lot of low-intensity training anyway. So I'm not suggesting that zone 1 and zone 2 training is not valuable. I'm also not suggesting that maintaining some zone 1 and zone 2 very easy training in the off-season is not critical. It is. But this is not the time of the year where you flip the switch, you increase mileage, while for most athletes, you're going to be having to do that on the bike trainer. It doesn't make any sense, and it's not fun either.